And the United Nations Secretary General has just arrived and he is in the building. We're going to allow the proceedings to continue from this point. Security checks must be followed, and we'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Channels Television, and this is the live broadcast of the meeting between the United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, and the business community and philanthropists in Nigeria. We'll be back in just a moment.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to welcome you all to this auspicious occasion of the visit of one of the most important personalities in the world. The United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, has continued his two-day visit to Nigeria. Yesterday, just as a recap and a reminder to all of us, that he met with some governors of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and his message to them was sustainable development at the state government level. It is his hope that governors will be able to tow along the line of education, of healthcare delivery, of better infrastructure, and human rights to be upheld for all Nigerians and by extension Africa. Today's occasion is being organized by Dangote Industries, and we all know too well who heads that. One of the most influential men in Africa and by extension the world, Alhaji Aliko Dangote. Ladies and gentlemen, the chief host, Alhaji Aliko Dangote. Please a round of applause for him. Alhaji Aliko Dangote started the Dangote Industries from infancy several years back, and today it has grown into an empire, a conglomerate to be reckoned with the world over. It is my privilege and honor to ask that Alhaji Aliko Dangote makes his opening remarks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, with his team here with us, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, members of his team, and my fellow business leaders, philanthropists, to this important dialogue on the role of Nigerian business and philanthropy in implementing the Sustainable Development Goals and addressing climate change. At no point in world history are the issues of sustainable development and climate change more important, more relevant, and more urgent. The Nigerian business environment is going through a short-term growth pains, which should yield fruits very, very soon. As you know, Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa with GDP of over $500 million. Until the recent slowdown from the drop in the oil prices, the economy has been growing at over 6% annually. Unfortunately, the growth has not been inclusive. Nigeria is one of the few countries in the world that experience rapid economic growth without any improvement in poverty levels. More than 60% of the population in the northwest and northeastern part of Nigeria are in severe poverty as we speak today. The situation has been compounded by the drop in oil prices. Oil revenues are very crucial for the economy, and the drop has been severely, constricted government's capacity to fund its current expenditure, not talk about spending on capital expenditure. Until the recent intervention by the government, civil servants in some number of states have actually been going home without salaries for months. This, coupled with uncertainty around the elections and the transition, has depressed consumer demand, which has resulted in lower growth in 2015. However, the new government is taking this challenge very, very seriously. The war on corruption will ensure more effective service delivery in schools and hospitals. This should enable government to achieve better outcomes for any dollar of spend. The government is also taking measures to diversify the economy by promoting local production of essential commodities. This might result in short-term pains, but in the long run, the economy will benefit from job creation and preservation of scarce foreign exchange. The business community in Nigeria continues to be vibrant. My group and others are focusing on developing the non-oil economy to truly diversify the country's economy and reduce our reliance on foreign imports. We are committed to driving social and economic change in Nigeria, and to do so in a responsible and sustainable way. In the next 4 years, Nigeria will be self-sufficient in rice, in sugar, and also other commodities, and will be the largest exporter of petroleum products and fertilizer in Africa, with millions of jobs being created. Over time, many business leaders have set up foundations and other platforms for philanthropy as a way of giving back to their communities and filling in the gaps in the provision of social services as a way of wealth creation and alleviating of poverty. We will hear about some of these initiatives and the role they have been playing in bringing about sustainable development in the open dialogue segment of this meeting. I, for example, set up Dangote Foundation in 1994 based on a simple premise: to whom much is given, much is required. That has meant for me looking at the poor that suffer among us and being compelled to bring some relief. I believe that supporting social and economic change through investment and interventions that improve the lives of less fortunate is what will make a positive difference in the growth of any nation. Over the years, the Foundation has focused on education, healthcare, women empowerment, and emergency relief in Nigeria, which is 70% of our spend, and 20% the rest of Africa, and 10% the world. Today, what we want to achieve in the Foundation is improving nutrition outcomes in Nigeria. And I see this as the basis for all the work that the Foundation should be engaging. Last year, we endowed the Foundation with about $1.25 billion and reorganized it to be at par with similar global institutions in terms of delivery and impact. And I believe that a lot of us here, we have several foundations that we have actually, donated money to, or we've done endowments to. I don't only want to be known, I don't want to be only known as the richest person in Africa, but the biggest philanthropist. I want to use my resources and my voice to help shape a better Nigeria, and I call on all fellow businessmen and women that are here with us, whom have been doing a great philanthropy, to work in their own ways to join me in this trajectory. Let me conclude by thanking the Secretary General for creating the time to have this important dialogue, despite his busy schedule. And we truly appreciate you being here with us. He has always been a great friend of developing countries, and I want to assure you, sir, that Nigerian business leaders and philanthropists will play their role in achieving the SDGs by the year 2030. Thank you very much.
The MD, Chief Executive Officer of Dangote Industries. I want to thank you so much indeed. Another round of applause for him. His mission and vision is to see Africa being sustained in its efforts to grow the local economies and by extension to grow the income of our people. It's my singular honor to also at this point invite one of the most important men in the world today, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, for his remarks.